In this video, we are going to learn some geoprocessing. So we are going to be drawing a buffer around a point data. So if you open up your saved project from last time, where you've got your home, your point data that you saved under buildings, what you're going to be doing now is drawing a 5 kilometer exercise buffer and then save it as a JPEG image or a PDF so that you know where you can exercise in. So the first thing we're going to be doing is opening up geoprocessing. So because it is a buffer, it's a polygon, and that polygon is a vector. So go to the top here and click on vector and geoprocessing tools. And what we are going to be doing is drawing a buffer. So if you click on buffer, this window over here will come up. Now, if you've got a Windows machine, that is probably going to be reduced to the bottom of your screen, so you can toggle between the two. And if you've got a Mac machine, this window may disappear behind the other window, but I'll show you what we can do to recover that. So the first thing we're going to be doing is drawing a buffer around buildings, and the distance we want is 5 kilometers. So you can either click on those numbers or type in 5 and just change the units to kilometers. Now the segments here, if you leave it at 5, it's going to look a little bit like a hexagon. So I suggest you actually make the segments 20, so at least it looks like a circle. And this is where it's very important, and this is where you can check that your projection is correct, because if your buffer is not a circle and it looks a little bit like an ellipse, then you know that your CRS, your coordinate reference system, is wrong. Now, what we need to do is scroll down here, and you need to buffer it. We need to tell QGIS where it must be saved. So click on which geo package, that database where I said we're going to be saving everything. So save to the geo package. And you need to, it will be scrolled out. I saved mine under desktop and I called it my GIS data project. Just click on that and click on save. And don't worry about that, just click on replace. And what we are going to do, that layer, we are going to call it buffers. So that is going to be in, what we are doing now is we're creating another table in the database and we're calling it buffers. Click on OK, and now we need to run it. But you'll notice that that window is no longer here. If you've got a Windows machine, just go down to the bottom. What I've got is I've gone and got mine right down behind this. If you've got an OS operating system, in other words, aka a Mac, and what we need to do now is click on run. So once you click on run, and now you can close that window, what you will have over here is, don't worry if this particular buffer is a gorgeous orange. I'm just going to quickly zoom out, and there you can see I've got a buffer. Now this is what is important with a GIS, a massive circle, so we know that our CRS is correct. But it's always important that you put your point data first, then your polygon data, then your raster data. Your raster data must be at the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pan this, and you can see that this particular map is completely opaque. I can't see anything underneath that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just zoom in. So I've got my either your home, in this particular case it was the wine farm. Here is my 5 kilometer buffer, and I'm going to click on that particular layer, change the properties and the symbology. Firstly, I'm going to get rid of that orange because it's not my favorite color, and I'm going to make my buffer a turquoise blue. Click on OK, and over here you can change the how opaque it is or how transparent, and I'm going to make it, let's say, close to 50%. Click OK. Oh, it's actually still a rather garish blue. Very easy to change. Go back to properties, and I can actually click on color over here, and let's change that to a standard that's slightly better. And I'm going to make it just a little bit more transparent. Click OK, and there you've got your buffer zone over there. Now, if you are familiar with QGIS, you can go into a new print layer and produce a map, but I'm going to show you a shortcut here. So once you've got that, you can click on View and go to Decorations. Now, what Decorations will do, it will quickly give you a scale bar. Just go to Enable Scale Bar, click OK. There you've got a scale bar at the top of your screen. And if you go back to View again, and Decorations, you can quickly bring in a north arrow. Click on north arrow, a little window will come up. Tick on Enable North Arrow, click OK, and now you've got a map with a scale bar and a north arrow. And as all good geographers, it's always important to have a north arrow and a scale bar. Now what you can do is if you click on Project and import export, you can either export the map as an image or export it as a PDF. I'm going to export it as a PDF, and there I've got a map of my particular home, wine farm, with my 5-kilometer buffer. And this particular buffer is a circle, so the projection is correct. And what you've got over here is click on your PDF and save it. And I'm going to call it a my 5-kilometer buffer. And once you have saved your buffer, you can then print it out, take it with you when next you exercise. And let me just, once you save it, print it, make sure you are armed with it, and when any of the authorities should stop you, you can now know how far you exercise. So if you happen to be there and you're running up the Franschhoek Pass, okay, it's very legal for you between 6 and 9 to step over that buffer. And please make sure that you are back safely home by 9 o'clock, because rumor has it that the authorities get quite annoyed. But you have now done a whole lot of GIS, raster data, vector data, attribute data, and some geoprocessing. And hopefully this is a nice exercise where you've put your theory into practice. Enjoy.